So Miss Rachel is not just getting bullied, she's not just getting trolled. Miss Rachel is getting attacked by white supremacists who are trying their best to let her know that she's going too far, that as a white woman, she is not supposed to care about black and brown children. Hey cool kids, Miss Rachel followed me on Instagram last week, and that reminds me we need to talk about the specific kind of pushback Miss Rachel has been getting. I've been seeing her content and following her trajectory for years now, and I know for a fact that 2 years ago, when she decided to speak loudly for Palestinian children being starved and bombed in Gaza, suddenly we weren't just talking about internet trolls no more. Suddenly the people's preschool teacher was a major problem, and this problem grew as she started to use her platform to fight for justice for black children and immigrant children who were kidnapped and trapped in detention centers. And whenever the Miss Rachel hate is trending like it is now, I think about how all this matters in a larger history of how white women are expected to operate in society. In the grand system of white supremacy, it's generally acceptable for white women to participate in charity because the women are emotional creatures. They think with their hearts, and so of course they would want to use their free time to do the Christian work of feeding the poor and helping the indigent. Charity is fine because with charity you can do hero work without having to name a villain. You can feed hungry kids all day as long as you never ask why they're hungry. And that's the difference between Miss Rachel and a women's club having a bake sale to fund the Red Cross. Miss Rachel is actively exposing systems that harm non-white children and demanding that those systems be dismantled. And that's not good for the Racism Project. So yes, we ride at dawn for Miss Rachel, and we need to be specific about why we have to do that in the first place. It's because of a very deep, very nasty kind of white supremacy.
Miss Rachel is out here giving these folks the business. And interestingly enough, she's not doing anything that's so super radical. She just gives a fuck about kids. Imagine that. Her speaking up for Nolan Wells, her bringing up APAC and talking about its effect in our election to ultimately kill more children. She's showing exactly what it looks like to use your influence. But more than anything, she's showing exactly what it looks like to use your humanity. And as I watch this woman who is internationally known with millions of followers across platforms, understand her privilege to use it for some kind of greater good, especially in this day and time. A lot of the reactions just reminds me that people aspire to the levels of a Miss Rachel just so that they can ignore the rest of the shit that's happening in the real world. Because whenever we have conversations about things that are going on and the fact that influencers or content creators aren't saying much about it, are continuing with business as usual. The pipeline is to reach Miss Rachel's status, but not to do anything with that status. So shout out to Miss Rachel, because if at the very least everybody just used the privileges that they have on behalf of folks who don't have those privileges, we would be so much further along in the world.
So let me get this straight. You mean to tell me people are canceling Miss Rachel because she spoke out about Nolan Wells' situation? If he were white, the investigation would be totally different. You know what? I agree. But people are canceling her? Excuse me, kids, let's get Miss Rachel on TV right now.
If you are mad at Miss Rachel for demanding justice for Nolan Wells and for his family to find out what happened to him, then you're racist. You are anti-black and you are the worst type of human being. And you are in fact obsessed with race, even though you try to project that on us and say that we are the ones obsessed with race, when really it's you. Because how is it that you are upset that a woman who has made it her life to care for children, all children, not just the white ones, is demanding justice when a young man turns up dead in the company of his all-white friend group? With the exception of Tristan, I guess. Just say what y'all really want to say. Y'all see her as a race traitor. She was supposed to let it die down. She has a big platform, she has a large following, and she's not supposed to bring attention to the obvious suspicious death of a young black boy. Because that's part of the good old boy code. And like I said, that's what Tristan was saying. Ocean Springs is going to take care of Ocean Springs. This goes for white people everywhere. This goes for MAGA. This goes for conservatives. This goes for America. This goes for the North, the South, all of it. The code is you're supposed to let it die down. Let the attention fall off of it. Let it get buried so that no one has to be held accountable for it. Because it's not important and it doesn't matter when it's a black body. And they want the least amount of attention on these cases as possible. And because Miss Rachel is Miss Rachel, because she has such a big platform and she has such a big following and she has such a big voice, that's why they're mad. And because she's a white woman, she was supposed to stick to the code. She was supposed to just let it blow over. It's gonna be all right. But because she's actually a human being with empathy and compassion, she spoke out. Just as normal people with any sense of fucking humanity about them would say. Because notice how it's perfect strangers who care more about what happened to Nolan than his own so-called self-professed best friends, brothers. Notice there is no, man, I wish we would have stayed with Nolan. Man, I wish we wouldn't have left him behind. I knew something fell off. I just wish I knew what happened to him, and I just feel terrible. It's eating me up. We should have stayed. None of that. It's all been about solidifying the fact that they are not guilty. Solidifying the fact that people need to just let it go, let it die down. Solidifying the fact that they were tight and that nothing would have happened because they were so close. And yet it always be the ones who claim to be closest to you that end up being the ones taking you out. Y'all are mad at this woman because she broke the white code. You're not supposed to care when it's black people, when it's brown people, black children, brown children. You're supposed to care about only the advancement of the white race. You're only supposed to care about having white babies and educating white babies to be patriots. That is why they're angry. And that's okay, because Miss Rachel doubled down on what she said, which is the same thing that the black community has been saying this entirety, the whole time. We're not gonna let this go. Just like we're not gonna stop talking about the multiple other cases that y'all tried to let get swept under the rug. We are recognizing a pattern and a custom that's as old as this country, and we will not be quiet. So y'all stay mad if you want to.
So Miss Rachel posted, "Black boys deserve to grow up." How is that controversial? Oh, right, because all lives matter, right? So you can say all lives matter, but you get triggered when she says feed all children?
White people are canceling Miss Rachel. These people have the audacity to cancel Miss Rachel because she spoke out for black people. I don't know if you guys know Miss Rachel, guys, and I don't know if you guys have literally seen this particular news. Miss Rachel is a popular kids music educational video, and white people are canceling her, and they thought that the fact that they are coming to cancel her, this woman will literally not progress again in the rest of her life. But they forgot that if you don't have anybody's support and you have black people support, especially black American support, you will definitely not have any issue. I'll go ahead and roll out the clip for you guys so that you guys can see why these people decided that this time around they want to cancel a woman that supported black people. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's roll out the clips. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's watch, guys.
Now they done got Miss Rachel putting bass in her voice. Rachel said, "Now we know the investigation and everything that follows would have been different if Nolan Wells were white and his friends were black. Nolan and his family deserves justice." And then somebody gonna say this to Rachel. "Can you just stay in your lane and sing kid songs?" And Rachel said, "No." I got a kid song for you. Can you say jailbirds? Jailbirds. Somebody's going to jail. Somebody's going to jail. So everyone who knows something, you better go run and tell. Oh Lord, they about to fire Rachel as their babysitter. But hey, Rachel, don't worry about it, girl. I'll tell Adonis to put you on every TV and every iPad and every cell phone we got in the house. Their views aren't gonna matter. The ones who don't want to watch you anymore, it's okay. We'll just ramp it up a bit. All right, now y'all go ahead. Have the day y'all deserve. Bye.
The investigation would have been different if Nolan Wells were white and his friends were black. Miss Rachel said that, and y'all decided toddlers don't see color, which is not true. I'm Isaac, a PhD candidate trying to bring social work into the 21st century and building worlds that love us back. So Miss Rachel posted about Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old who went out on a boat with his friends on the 4th of July and never came home. And the backlash was quick. Everybody was saying, stay in your lane, you teach toddlers, but that's not accurate. Child development is a part of my research, so let me tell you what the field actually says about this lane. In 2019, the American Academy of Pediatrics put out a formal policy statement naming racism as a driver of children's health outcomes, not a social issue that touches kids sometimes. A health exposure, like lead or smoke or mold. And the developmental research goes further. Babies start noticing racial differences in their first year of life. By preschool, kids are already forming racial attitudes. And families who avoid talking about race don't raise kids without bias. They raise kids who build their bias from the media and other kids around them with no adult help because critical race theory is allegedly bad. So a children's educator talking about racism is not out of her lane. She's in the deepest part of it. The pediatricians are in it. The researchers are in it. The only people surprised are the ones who got to treat race talk like an elective. Stay in your lane assumes children's lives happen somewhere separate from race. Millions of parents have never once had that luxury. They're having the talk before their kids lose their first tooth. If you grew up thinking race talk was optional, that was the lane somebody built for you. So tell me in the comments, how old were you when you first noticed race? Because the research says it was earlier than people want to believe. Also, when was the first time you talked about race in school? Bonus points if it was Martin Luther King Day, no shade. Talking about race is a huge part of building a world that loves us back.
Right, listen, my daughter watches Miss Rachel, so I can get my 2 pence involved, even though the argument is around a case that happened in the USA, nothing to do with the UK. But what has happened is there's a young boy called Nolan Wells, a black boy. He went over to an island just off of Mississippi with 3 of his friends who were white on a boat. The white lads returned, Nolan never. He was found dead. You know, and a lot of people are coming out and saying this is a racially motivated attack. Whether it was or not, I can neither confirm or deny. But the whole argument is Miss Rachel has come out in support of Nolan Wells, saying that she demands justice for him. You know, this is a racially motivated attack, and a lot of people have countered that, saying we're unfollowing you, Miss Rachel. Our children are not watching you. You're a kids' TV presenter. You should never be getting involved in something like this. You know, so they've unfollowed her and stopped their kids watching her, and then you've got people coming back saying, well, all the racists are unfollowing her, etc., etc. And my opinion on it is, you know, she's stood up for something that she believes in. She's demanding justice for a young lad, a kid himself. He was only 18 years old. He's a kid, so she's protecting another kid. And I will never stop my daughter watching Miss Rachel because of something like that. I think it's very brave what she's done. And at the end of the day, all she wants is justice for a young boy that's been brutally murdered. She wants to get to the bottom of what has happened, and she wants justice. So, yeah, I think it's insane that people are unfollowing her and stopping their children watching her because she wants justice for a young kid. That is my opinion on it from the UK. But yeah, if you don't know about the Nolan Wells case, give it a little look. It's very, very sad. May he rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers with his family at this very sad time. And it's horrific that things like this can happen in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just terrible.
You're going to cancel Miss Rachel? You're going to cancel the most wholesome person in the world because she came out and said something about Nolan Wells? You really are a bunch of racists.
Miss Rachel just needs to stick to talking about children. I'm unfollowing her. How dare she? Nolan Wells was a child. He was 18. He couldn't rent his own car. He couldn't go into a bar. That's a child. Like, y'all didn't even like when she was advocating for infants in Gaza. There's no way you mistook an infant for an adult. Just say what it is. Racism is not even the word for it anymore. Like, it's demonic, it's evil, it's irrational. It is so much deeper than the word racism. I don't even think racism holds enough weight for how these people act and the things that they try and do. I don't think that your little bit of unfollowing is going to stop her program. Real advocacy doesn't need TikTok followers and Instagram followers and comments. And if that was the case, we'll go and follow her. There's a lot of us as well. We're not the minority anymore. And if you really think that someone who cares this much about people, children, and justice is going to stop advocating for justice because you unfollowed her, you are living in a nut. It's a waste of your time. If you do not support brown kids or brown whatever, then leave it alone. It's not even affecting you. It should be. It should be affecting you morally. And honestly, Miss Rachel should probably come out with a adult series for those of you who have no moral high ground. Because she could talk to you like that too. Hello, are you a racist? Like, for real, because this is, no matter what happened, it deserves the justice. Whether he was murdered or whether it was an accident, it deserves the tax dollars that we spend on this type of thing for it to get some sort of justice or some sort of answer. I really hope that justice is served for Nolan Wells. I really hope that people stop terrorizing his family. Like, demonic, evil. Racism cannot suffice in this situation. That shit is disgusting.
Racists are getting mad at Miss Rachel because she spoke on Nolan Wells, and they're salty because her speaking on Nolan Wells had nothing to do with children. He was a child. And that just goes to show they don't see our children as children. They just see black, and that's black enemy. That's all they see. They don't see children. They don't see our children as children.
So this is just into the newsroom. You know Miss Rachel? Miss Rachel is now weighing in on Nolan Wells' case. Yes, that Miss Rachel, that one you know. She posted this. She said, "We know the investigation and everything that followed would have been different if Nolan Wells were white and his friends were black. Nolan and his family deserve justice." Now, whether you agree with her or not, one thing is clear, this case is reaching far beyond Mississippi. The more attention it gets, the more questions people are asking. And that's why we are covering it. Not to reach conclusions, to keep following the facts until there are answers. Check us out, The Don Lemon Show, on YouTube, on Substack, and everywhere you get your streaming.
Y'all, Miss Rachel just asked the question that a lot of people don't want to have. Would people be reacting the same way if Nolan Wells was white and the people around him were black? And, phew, that one statement has the internet divided. Miss Rachel posted about Nolan Wells on Instagram, saying she believes the investigation could have looked different under those circumstances. And of course, people immediately started arguing. Some people praised her for using her platform and speaking on something she believes is important. Others felt like she shouldn't have brought black and white people into the conversation. But as a black woman, I understand why this topic gets people so emotional. Because these conversations always make people ask bigger questions about fairness, attention, and whether every situation is looked at the same way. And that's exactly why Miss Rachel's post got so much attention. Now, if you don't know who Miss Rachel is, she's one of the biggest child educators on YouTube. Millions of families know her from her videos helping children learn. And honestly, I respect that she chose to speak. Because Miss Rachel didn't have to say anything about Nolan Wells. She could have stayed quiet, avoided the backlash, and kept posting her usual content. But she decided to use her platform for something she felt mattered. People forget creators and public figures are still human. They have opinions, they have feelings, and they're allowed to use their voice. Now, I already know this conversation is going to divide people. Some will say Miss Rachel was right for speaking up. Others will say she should have stayed away from this topic. But y'all tell me.
Miss Rachel is getting a ton of flack for stating the obvious in the Nolan Wells investigation. She posted on her social media saying that if Nolan Wells was a white young man and he was out with a bunch of his black friends, this thing would be national news. The investigation would be in hyperdrive. But because Nolan Wells was a black male with all white males, especially for money, this thing is going like molasses, and she is getting dragged for it by all of the MAGA chuds in this country. That should tell you everything you need to know about this country and how twisted and horrible it is that she has been catching so much flack for sticking up for the children of Gaza and loving black children and wanting to take care of all children and wanting to spread love and happiness and not have them killed. And yet the right and MAGA and Trumpers are just wanting to get their pitchforks out and come after her. And the latest is her stating the obvious, that if Nolan Wells was white, things would be a lot different.
I don't know if y'all know this, but they trying to cancel Miss Rachel. Nobody the hell but y'all cancel Miss Rachel. And she for the kids. That's all she for. The kids. Black kids, white kids, pink kids, green kids, purple kids. Kids. And y'all want to cancel her? Oh. Because she said justice for Nolan Wells. And she said black boys deserve to grow up too. And oh, that's why I got it. Clear. But guess what? Over here, we ain't having it. We are not canceling Miss Rachel. Ever.
Miss Rachel has entered the chat. Have y'all seen what Miss Rachel posted on her Instagram about Nolan Wells? She said the investigation would have been different if Nolan was white and his friends were black. She didn't lie. If you don't know who Miss Rachel is, she's one of the biggest child educators on YouTube. I love when white people use their voice to stand up for what's right. And I know a lot of people are going to get mad at her because she's calling out injustice. No matter what the race is, she's just calling it like it is. And nobody should be trying to cancel her because she's speaking the truth. She didn't have to use her platform to say anything about Nolan Wells, but she did. And I respect that because doing the right thing isn't about race. People forget that celebrities are human beings. People with platforms are human beings. They have the right to say how they feel as well. Everybody should go follow all her platforms because her content for children is amazing. Show her some support because a lot of racist white people are so mad at her. They're talking shit in the comments. Don't worry, Miss Rachel, we got you. And yes, Miss Rachel is invited to the cookout.
Anyways, welcome back guys, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And honestly, like I said, one thing these white people forget is that, see, if black people are standing with you, that's perfect. A lot of them came out and they were, see, I have not only subscribed, but I have followed all her platform, and I've used my daughter's account, even my husband's account, to follow all her platform because I'm ready to give her that support. Like, it has gotten to that point where I'm ready to keep playing Miss Rachel morning till night. If that's the only way this woman can make money, I'll do that for her. This woman just speak the truth. She just spoke the truth. Why is it that some of these white folks don't like truth? Why? Why is that a lot of them just want to keep hearing lies upon lies upon lies upon lies? This woman came out to say the fact that if this was a white person in reverse, a lot would have happened, a lot would have been on stake, and of which is true. But these people now have the right, because this woman said the truth, for them to say they want to actually cancel her. They want to cancel her. This woman speaks about children, for crying out loud. And this boy that died is just 18. Just 18. And she knows she had a huge audience. And then she's using that audience to say what fact is all about. And these people are angry. I can tell you that some of these people are, they are wolves in sheep clothing. Honestly. Because you can't tell me that of everything, you're canceling a woman that has educated your child, a woman that your children rely on to get something in their scores, a woman that spoke or speak out. Like, it's really, really crazy. Like, when I saw the video, I was like, who are these people? What kind of color is this people? What nature is these people? How did these people even manage to sleep, breathe at night, knowing that this thing is wrong? With every single evidence that they have proved, you know that this Nolan Wells, something is wrong. They did him dirty. Something went bad. Something went sour. But still, because of just that racist act, that means black life never matters. Nobody should have said anything. Everybody should have just kept quiet. Why is Miss Rachel saying this? Or why is... God of mercy. Guys, honestly, it's really crazy. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.